Thank you, Dr. Gullahim Saab. Professor Dr. Gullahim Tamka Imtiaz is authority on numismatic, who has done his MPhil on the coins of Kushans, and later on he has done his PhD on yet another topic. And Dr. Gullahim, what was your PhD topic?
My PhD topic was the political and cultural history of the Kushans,
Kushan.
study
True.
based on numismatic evidences.
Well, thank you. And later on, Professor Dr. Gullahim Khan has been to UK, and there he has done his postdoc, and he has written numerous research articles on numismatic. And I'm really grateful to him because he is with me, and we have a very significant topic, the issue of the Scythian rules, which is a very interesting topic, and there are so many controversies. So today I'm with him, and he will be sharing his views on the basis of numismatic regarding the Scythians. So please, Dr. Gullahim Khan.
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. And Scythians, as far as concerned, so this was the branch of Scythian, which was the broad umbrella, where different tribes were living in Central Asia and southern part of Russia. So the topic is very complicated and many things are still need to be resolved. Uh, but I will give you some general idea about the outline how they established their rule in Pakistan particularly. So the history of Indo-Scythians begins in the mid of 2nd century BC. So when they were living in Ali Basin, so they called themselves Sakas, and the Chinese accounts called them Sai. So in the nomadic tribe of nomadic tribe known as Yuchi, they were defeated by Jiangnu, another tribe also living in China. So when this tribe reached an elevation, so they came into conflict with the branch of Scythian known as Sai. So they defeated Sai, which later on to be known as Indo-Scythians because they belong to Scythian branch and they occupied Indian territory. So therefore, we use the two terms, composite terms, Indo-Scythians. The Scythian who ruled over India, the present-day Pakistan, the Indus region. When they were defeated, so then they divided into two groups. One group was forced to migrate towards west, and another group came towards south. So the southern branch crossed the Karakoram Pass, and this branch came easily entered into Hazara region, and then they spread in Texla region. And later on, they consolidated themselves, and they defeated one of the Indo-Greek king. So the chief of this branch occupied Texla, known as Mavis. So the rule of Mavis to be known from 90 to 85 BC. So probably he came in power during this period. He ruled for about 20 years. When he died, so the Texla was reoccupied by the Indo-Greek like Apollodotus II. When he captured this area, so then the last king of this branch was Hippostratus, who was finally defeated by Aziz, another king of the same branch who came in power. So this king probably took Taxila in 47-46 BC, and he ruled for about 15 years, and then he was succeeded by another king whose name was Azilizis. Azilizis also ruled over Texla, Hazara, and Gandhara region, and the last king whose authority is well known is Aziz II. So Aziz II further expanded his rule, uh, towards Swat region and towards further south. Uh, so the second branch of this Scythian, which went towards west, so they occupied some territory of the Parthians. So they stopped there for a few years. During this
So
time,
you are talking, Dr. Gul Rahim, that this western branch
Western branch, yeah,
via Herat,
Herat, yeah, Margiana Herat. So they occupied
talking
some
about the Scythian branch.
Scythian branch, second branch of the
Yeah,
Indo-Scythian, which
and
went
the
towards west.
southern branch of the Scythian via Karakoram and this Silk Route, they came to Hazara and Taxila.
Yes.
Thank you.
Now I'm talking about the second group, how they established their rule in Sistan. So there they occupied some territory of the Parthian, like Mar or Herat. So they defeated few ruler of the and Parthians like Phraates, and finally they were defeated by Mithridates II, and they ousted them from this area. So then they went along the southern Afghanistan plateau, and they reached Sistan. So they found vacuum there, so therefore they consolidated themselves, and the chief of this tribe now is Vonanes, also established his rule. So the rule of this king was almost contemporary with the first group of Indo-Scythian Mavis. So he also came in power a few years earlier than Mavis, and then he was assisted by his brother, whose name was Spalahoris. When Spalahoris died, so then he was assisted by his nephew, the son of Spalahoris, whose name was Spalagadames. After Spalagadames, he shared his rule with another king whose name was Spalarishes. So Spalarishes in the beginning ruled as a viceroy or as a deputy ruler, and when Vonanes died, so then he came as a so then he became as a great king of the second branch of Indo-Scythia. So this branch started their rule from Sistan, and then they conquered Kandahar.
And this present day Balochistan, a province of
Balochistan,
Pakistan, this was
yeah,
also conquered by this branch.
this branch, and they also conquered Ghazna, and they also included a southern branch of the KP province, like Banu region. So west of Indus came under the control of this branch. So this branch also established a very friendly relationship with another branch of the Indo-Scythian, who had already established their rule in Taxila and Gandhara region. Because we have some numismatic evidences that Spalarishes had joint issue with Aziz first. So they were contemporary. So they established very good working relationship, and they had very good neighborhoods. Although they had their own rules in different in their respective regions. When Aziz II died, so then the kingdom dismantled, and the rulers of different provinces who are called as satraps, because we have numerous epigraphic evidences, then they established their own rule in their respective region. So basically they continued kind tradition of Aziz II, and some of the dynasty use their own names along with the name and kind design of Aziz II, like the dynasty of Mujatria, who established their rule in Swat region and Bajod region. And other dynasty also continued the kind tradition of Aziz II, so his kinds were continued for a long time, even though also some of them also wrote their name on the backside of kinds. So this dynasty disappeared from the scene about 1st century AD, beginning of 1st century AD, and then the rule was continued for 20, 25 or more than 25 years in different area by the satraps. Like we have the rule of Zenosis dynasty continued even longer when the Indo-Parthian came in power, so then they subdued different rulers of the, is the successor of Indo-Scythian, we can say. So then he easily, so the Indo-Parthian king Gundupharis first occupied this area. Some of them also made alliance with him.
Okay, thank you. And what about the time when the Indo-Scythians were ruling in different groups and their different expedition which successfully have taken place in Sistan, Baluchistan, Kandahar, and here Taxila, Hazara Valley, Gandhara, Banu Basin. So, what were the position? What was the position of this Kabul area in particular?
Uh, Kabul River, so the first branch, which we can say Mavis and his successor, they came in power about the beginning of 1st century BC. So at the same time, another branch, Vonanis and his successor, also came in power at the same time in Sistan. So during this time, Kabul was remained under the control of later Indo-Greeks. So when these branches established their rule in a respective region, so the nomadic tribe Yuchi, which was defeated, later on it was defeated by another tribe living in the same area, Ali Basin, called as Vosan. So then these nomadic people, I means Yuchi, came to Bactria and they occupied this area, both sides of the river Oxus, and similarly they also came to Kabul region and they also occupied Kabul region. So therefore, during this period, during the time of Indo-Scythian, Kabul was remained under the control of the nomadic tribe Yuchi.
And before Yuchis, this area was ruled by the later Indo-Greeks, and the later Indo-Greeks were defeated by the Yuchi tribe, later on known as from Kushang as Kushan dynasty.
Yeah, first they occupied Bactria, where they occupied this region after the rule of Heliocles, who was the Bactrian king. And after some time, they also came in Kabul region. So when there was no powerful ruler after Hermias, so then their chief actually controlled this region.
So this was the history of the early Kushans.
Early Kushans.
In round about mid of the 1st century AD, when they conquered this Kabul area.
No, they already occupied Kabul region.
Okay.
But they were not in power. They did not declare themselves as a kings, rulers of this region. But they were divided into different tribes. So the different tribes occupied different area.
Okay.
So the area was under the control of Yuchi. At that time, there was no rule of the Kushans.
Okay.
So Kushan was the branch, one of the branch of Yuchi, known as Kuishang. So this tribe also living there in Bactria region.
Okay, and this was around about in the beginning of 1st century AD or by the end of 1st century BC?
Yuchi usually reach in the later part of the 2nd century BC.
Okay, and in particularly at Kabul?
We are not sure about the Kabul region because until 70 BC, this area was ruled by Hermias.
Okay.
And then there was no powerful king in that area.
So might be it might be taken place somewhere in the by the end of the 1st century BC or by
the second part of the 1st century BC, we can say that.
Okay.
It was occupied by the Yuchi tribe.
Yuchi. Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Gul Rahim, for your very brief and very precise comments on this very controversial topic. And I do believe that the students of numismatic and those who are taking interest in the Indo-Scythians, many things might be clarified for them. And please do watch this video lecture of Professor Dr. Gullaim Khan Tamga Imtiaz, very special comments on the Indo-Scythian. Thank you so much. God bless you. Stay blessed. Thank you, Professor Dr. Gullaim Khan.
Thank you very much. Welcome.